Most people think of their eyes as something separate, little cameras that just send pictures to the brain. But the truth is far more fascinating. Your eyes are your brain looking out. Every time you see, focus, or read these words, you're not just using your eyes, you're using your mind's window. That's why when your brain feels tired, stressed, or foggy, your vision blurs too. It's not coincidence. It's connection. I'm Dr. Allison Ray, and today, I want to show you why stress, poor sleep, and shallow breathing quietly steal your focus, and how you can restore clarity in both your mind and your eyes with a few simple habits. Your eyes are not just attached to the brain, they're living extensions of it. Each time light enters your eyes, it travels through a thin cord of nerve fibers called the optic nerve, and that nerve isn't a separate structure. It's part of your central nervous system, made of the same delicate tissue as your brain itself. In other words, when you look out at the world, it's not your eyes that are seeing, it's your brain reaching outward through those windows of light. That's why everything that affects your brain, stress, blood pressure, oxygen flow, even your emotions, immediately affects how you see. When your brain slows, your vision fades. When your brain thrives, your vision sharpens. Imagine the brain as a great power station and your eyes as two radiant lamps connected by a cable of pure nerve tissue. When the power is steady, the light is clear and bright. But when circulation weakens, when your mental energy drops or stress blocks the flow, the current falters. The lamps flicker, the light dims, and the world seems just a little more blurred. That's not a random symptom. That's your nervous system asking for balance. When the brain is tense, it signals the body to conserve, tightening the muscles around your eyes and narrowing blood vessels that deliver oxygen and nutrients to the retina. The result? You see the world through the filter of fatigue. Colors appear flatter. Focus slips. Reading feels heavier than usual. But here's the beautiful truth. This connection works both ways. When you bring calm back to your mind, your body listens. As your breathing deepens and your thoughts settle, blood vessels in your head and face open. Fresh oxygen rushes in, nourishing the optic nerve, hydrating the retina, and clearing the fog. You can literally feel it, the soft release behind your eyes, the sense of lightness spreading across your forehead. Within just a few minutes of relaxation or slow breathing, vision becomes steadier, sharper, and more vibrant. This is not magic, it's biology at its most elegant. Your eyes are mirrors of your brain's rhythm. When your mind is calm and circulation flows freely, your vision doesn't just improve, it awakens. You've probably noticed this yourself. When you're anxious or in a hurry, your breathing becomes shallow, your heart beats faster, and your eyes start darting around, searching for something, even when there's nothing to find. Your vision feels narrower, as if the world shrinks into a tunnel. That sensation isn't in your imagination, it's a built-in biological reaction. When you experience stress, your body activates the fight-or-flight response, the same ancient mechanism that once helped us survive danger. In that state, blood is redirected away from your eyes and brain and toward your arms and legs, the muscles you'd need to run or defend yourself. The problem is today's dangers aren't wild animals. They're deadlines, screens, phone notifications, arguments, and constant mental noise. And your eyes respond to these invisible threats just like they would to a tiger, by tightening the tiny muscles around them, narrowing your field of vision, and shutting down fine focus. Cortisol, your main stress hormone, plays a major role here. It constricts blood vessels, raises blood pressure, and robs your visual cortex, the part of your brain that processes sight, of the oxygen it needs. Your retina, which depends on steady blood flow, starts receiving less nourishment. The result? Blurred focus, heaviness in the eyes, and that sense that your vision flickers when you're under pressure. If this happens occasionally, your body recovers quickly. But when stress becomes your daily background noise, when every morning begins with rushing, multitasking, and screens, the body never gets the signal that the danger is over. That's when the problem turns chronic. Your eyes become trained to live in a state of constant microtension. The muscles that help them focus stay locked, your pupils stay slightly dilated, and your brain learns to process the world from a place of alertness instead of curiosity. You stop seeing and start scanning. Over weeks and months, That silent habit does real damage. Reduced circulation means fewer nutrients reach the retina, inflammation builds up, and the optic nerve tires faster. It's no wonder so many people in midlife say, "My eyes just can't keep up like they used to." What they often don't realize is that their vision didn't fade from age alone, it faded from years of living in survival mode. But here's the hopeful part: your visual system can unlearn stress. The same way tension trains your eyes to constrict, calm retrains them to open. Deep breathing, mindful blinking, and small breaks to gaze into the distance can restore oxygen and flow in minutes. And as circulation returns, so does clarity, not just in your sight, but in your mind. Because when your body feels safe again, your eyes remember how to see fully, brightly, and without fear. Here's something most people never realize: your eyes can stay structurally healthy for many decades, but only if the brain behind them doesn't burn out first. When people begin to notice early signs of aging vision, they often assume it's their eyes that are failing the lenses, the muscles, or the retina. But in truth, much of what we call vision loss begins deeper, inside the brain's visual cortex, where sight is actually interpreted. The eyes are merely the lenses. The scene happens in the brain. Every image, every color, every piece of depth and movement you perceive must travel along a network of neurons from the retina to the occipital lobe. That network relies on a constant supply of oxygen, glucose, and blood flow. When circulation weakens due to chronic stress, lack of movement, poor sleep, or dehydration, those neurons begin to slow down. Signals get delayed, clarity fades, and reaction times lengthen. You might call it blurry vision, but what's really happening is that your brain can't process the image as sharply as before. Think of it like a computer. Even if your screen is flawless, the image will freeze or lag if the processor is overheating or underpowered. The same happens to us. The eyes are the hardware, but the brain is the processor, and it needs constant cooling, cleaning, and nourishment to keep performing. Another hidden factor is inflammation. As we age, tiny inflammatory molecules, often triggered by stress hormones, high blood sugar, or lack of antioxidants, start interfering with the brain's energy metabolism. The result is a kind of neural fatigue. The visual centers work harder to create the same image, leading to tension, tired eyes, and mental fog. Even emotions play a role. Prolonged worry, grief, or overthinking can tighten blood vessels around the head and neck, reducing oxygen to the brain's visual areas. This is why people often say, "I can't think clearly," or "my eyes feel heavy," after emotional stress. The connection is literal. But the good news is equally real. The process is reversible. When you start giving your brain what it craves, steady oxygen through deep breathing, hydration through simple water intake, and relaxation through calm focus, the fog begins to lift. The neural pathways that carry sight signals start firing faster again. Regular physical movement sends more oxygen-rich blood to the back of the head, nourishing the visual cortex. Hydration thins the blood just enough to improve flow. Even 5 minutes of slow, rhythmic breathing a few times a day can expand the tiny arteries that feed your optic nerve. Your brain is not doomed to decay, it simply needs attention, the same way your muscles do. When it's nourished, it keeps your visual software young and responsive, allowing your eyes to show the world in its full brightness again. So remember this: to protect your eyes, protect your brain first. Because when your mind is calm and well-fed, your vision becomes the mirror of that inner clarity. Keep up one, breathe deeply, especially through your nose. It may sound too simple, but it's one of the fastest ways to restore oxygen to the brain and optic nerve. When you breathe slowly through the nose, the air passes through tiny vessels that filter, warm, and saturate it with nitric oxide, a natural compound that relaxes blood vessels and improves circulation to the head. Even 1 minute of deep nasal breathing can increase blood flow to your eyes by almost 20%. Try it with me right now. Inhale through your nose for 4 seconds, hold for 2, exhale slowly through your mouth for 6. As you do this, notice how the muscles behind your eyes begin to soften and your forehead relaxes. This tiny act tells your nervous system, "You're safe now," and when the body feels safe, vision expands. Keycap 2 Move your body every morning. Movement is medicine for the eyes because it wakes up circulation. When you walk, stretch your neck, or rotate your shoulders, you increase the flow of oxygen-rich blood to the brain. Even small motions, like turning your head gently from side to side or looking up and down while breathing deeply, stimulate the cranial nerves that control vision. You don't need to work out, just move with awareness. Think of it as turning on the power to your visual system. A 5-minute walk outside in natural light, or simply standing near an open window, helps your eyes and brain synchronize their rhythm for the day. Keycap 3 Look at distance before screens. This one habit alone can change everything. The moment you open your eyes, your instinct is to reach for your phone. But your brain isn't ready for that yet. Those first minutes after waking are when your visual cortex calibrates focus and depth, and if you feed it only short-distance pixels, you train it for fatigue. Instead, look out a window or into the horizon for just 30 seconds. Notice shapes, light, and colors. Let your eyes stretch. That simple pause tells your brain, I'm safe, I'm grounded, I'm alive. You'll feel less strain all day, and your focus will stay sharper without extra effort. Keycap 4 Add brain food nutrients. Your eyes can't thrive if your brain is undernourished. Feed it with foods that keep your neurons flexible and your vessels clear. Leafy greens like spinach and kale for lutein and zeaxanthin, 2 pigments that protect the retina. Berries rich in anthocyanins, powerful antioxidants that support capillaries and prevent oxidative stress. Omega-3 fats from flax, chia, or fish to strengthen the myelin around your optic nerves. And yes, dark chocolate, a small square daily, improves blood flow to the visual cortex and enhances contrast sensitivity. Think of these as your natural eyeglasses from within. They sharpen vision not by force, but by nourishment. Keycap 5 End your day in darkness. Most people think of sleep as rest, but for your eyes, it's repair time. When lights stay on or screens glow late into the night, melatonin, your natural repair hormone, can't rise properly. That hormone doesn't just make you sleepy, it triggers the retina's nightly restoration cycle. So, turn down the lights an hour before bed. Let your room grow dim and quiet. If you can, sip a warm herbal tea, chamomile, or lemon balm, and close your eyes for a few slow breaths. That darkness is medicine. It signals your body to shift from doing to healing. By morning, you'll notice your eyes feel softer, more hydrated, and your focus steadier. It's not about doing more, it's about doing with awareness. Each of these small steps restores communication between your mind and your vision, between your inner world and the outer one. And when those two align, clarity returns naturally, effortlessly, beautifully. So remember this, my friend. Most people don't truly have bad eyes. What they have is a tired, overworked brain that's been carrying too much for too long. A brain that's hungry for oxygen, thirsty for stillness, and desperate for a pause. Your vision doesn't fade because of numbers on a calendar. It fades when your nervous system stays in constant tension. When you give that system even a few moments of real rest, through deep breathing, slow movement, or silence, something begins to change. The fog lifts. The world brightens. Colors feel richer, focus returns, and your mind begins to feel like you again. Because vision isn't just about eyes. It's about perception, how clearly your brain receives the world. And the clearer your inner world becomes, the sharper your outer vision grows. So tonight, do one small thing for yourself. Step outside for a minute. Breathe in slowly. Feel your heartbeat settle and your eyes soften. You'll notice your sight isn't gone. It's simply been waiting for you to slow down enough to reconnect. If this message spoke to you, please tap like, subscribe, and share it with someone who deserves to see life clearly again, not just through their eyes, but through peace of mind. I'm Dr. Allison Ray, and I want you to remember something powerful. Your eyes don't merely look at the world. They mirror your brain, your heart, and the calm within you. So breathe deeply, move gently, rest fully, and let your vision remind you just how alive you still are.